Hey there folks, Brent here for Pastor's Farm. Welcome and welcome back to the farm channel. The first part of the video here, we are visiting our local Kioti dealer. They've got a ton of tractors on the lot. Let's see what's going on. Alright, so we're here at Larry's Stove Sand, and they have got a parking lot full of tractors. This looks like the closest model to mine. I've got a CK3510 SE. This is the 3520 SE. Pedal config looks the same. Gauge cluster looks the same. All the options here. Hydraulics, 3-point lift, PTO, everything here looks the same. I don't see any differences on that. I do see this is different. I'm not sure exactly what this is for, but it is interesting. I'm going to ask about that and we'll see what they say. Looking at these models in here, the one thing I've noticed is these pins have changed. Mine has the pin that goes through with a small bolt that screws in to hold the pin in place. They've gone to a full bolt with a nut on the back. And it looks like it may be a locking nut. That's a huge improvement over the model that I've got. Looks like they've done a little bit of redesign here on the side too. You can see some bulge here. Looks like it's stamped or pressed. See the other side there. It's recessed and then it's bowed out on the outsides. Maybe that's designed to give it some rigidity. Taking a peek under the hood, everything looks to be the same. Fuel filters in the same place, oil fills in the same place, dipsticks in the same place. Air filter all looks the same, so it doesn't look like they've done any reconfig under the hood. So the only difference between this one and mine is that this one's a whole lot cleaner. Here's some new products they did not have, did not carry, did not offer when I bought my tractor. Whole line of mowers. You come around the other side here, you've got a whole line of skid steers. These are all new products to the Kioti family. Got deliveries coming in and out, a little bit noisy. But yeah, these were not a thing when I bought my tractor. I'll tell you what, you could get some serious farm work done with these things. Of course, I've got the Ironcraft Flail Mower. You can see here, here's a whole row. Fresh off the press, Ironcraft. I'm not sure if they're mowers or tillers. Can't quite tell. Could be flail mowers, could be tillers. Actually, maybe a little bit of both. What's also on the lot here at Larry's Stove Sand, in addition to being a huge Kioti dealer in the country, they carry a line of TYMs. Had they had the TYMs in stock and what I was looking for when I bought my tractor, I actually would have picked the TYM over the Kioti, even though the lift capacity on the Kioti exceeds that of the TYM. There's just something about a red tractor that I like. Although I see something right off the bat that I'm not necessarily a fan of. You can see your hydraulic hose is pretty low here. If you're running through heavy brush, your front tire lays it down. Some of it may come up as soon as the tire pressure comes off. That comes up and catches your hoses, you may be in a world of trouble. Although I would imagine you could probably pretty easily fabricate something to weld onto here that would protect this. That wouldn't take much doing. Their cab config is completely different than the Kioti. Although if it were a new tractor to me, I don't think I'd have any problems with it, but having to relearn it after having a Kioti now for a couple of years, it would be a little bit of a relearning process. I do like this for your rear remotes, having them right here instead of having to reach up in there and look around to see if it's up or down. I wish I had this on mine. You can see TYM's got the bolts or the pins that go all the way through. Theirs is a little bit different. They do have a nut and a bolt through the other side to hold it in, but it's vertical, whereas mine just screws straight into the pin. Well, they got some big ones in here. Good grief. Kioti 7320, so it's going to be a 73 horsepower. Got the reversible hubs, reversible tires on it, front and back it looks like. That bucket's big enough for me to lay down in. It's got the extra set of front remotes on it that mine does not have. I do wish I had that on mine as well, especially when it comes to running the pallet fork grapple. See here, they've got it in behind the tire, but this one comes with a welded bracket there. One that looks like to hold it and two to protect it. I do like that. This is what my pins look like here actually. You got the pin that goes through and the hex bolt that holds it in. Looks like this one may be a package deal with a gigantic Ironcraft tiller on there. If ever there was a sign that it's new equipment, it's that the blades have all the paint and are clean. Well, we got back to the farm just in time for some showers to hit us. But our lean-to roof is doing pretty good for the most part. We've got water in the seat. I have no idea how or where that came in. Unless it maybe blew in from the side somehow or blew in from the back. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to figure that out because that's one of the reasons I wanted to be under here. One, just to protect the tractor, and two, so I don't have to deal with a wet seat. Well, anyways, the front end here, pretty dry. We're going to try and get the air filter done. I don't know that we're going to get into the hydraulics today because of the rain. We'll have to see how the weather goes and figure it on out from there. Now the plan here for these pivot points is still to take them apart and clean them, put it all back together and re-grease it. However, with the rain, today is not that day. So we're going to just put this in for now. And of course, when I go to town this evening, I also have to get some Loctite for these pivot points. So if we can get a break in the rain, maybe tomorrow we'll get her done. Yeah, I think it's just dirty in there. Have to be careful here not to crack this bowl. I do not have another one. Ooh wee. I don't see any leaks, which is good. Although that belt's got a little bit of wobble to it, I probably should have picked up another one while I was there. Now that we've got all that squared away, finally, we're going to get started on this gizmo here. Now, I've got this on both sides. I'm hoping if that mower comes down, the blocks and the jack with the redundancy there will keep it up off of me. I mean, I don't expect it'll come down, but you never know. If y'all know of a better way to do this, short of building some type of cribbing for this thing to sit in, let me know. At some point in time, I've lost one of these on each end, and it's filled up with all kinds of nonsense. We're gonna see if we can take this thing off and clean it out. That one's not budging. There it goes. Oh, now comes the not fun part. Golly, Bill, that's heavy. Ooh-wee. Well, that's pointless. It's only open on the end. Other than that, it's welded all the way through. I don't know how in the world I'm going to get water or something in this end and flush it all the way down to that end to come out. So it's not 100% pointless, I suppose. Getting this thing cleaned out is not really going to be a thing. But what you probably noticed while I was taking this apart is that the roller was loose here and flopping. It was not like that when I got it. It was tight. And actually, if you look, you can see these holes have wallowed out here, so I'm going to have to deal with that. We're just going to screw this back on here. Uh-oh. I believe that's all she wrote for that battery. So after all the brush mowing, we definitely have blunted our end here. And I realize this is a blunt force trauma kind of mower, but what little mowing I've done, I've noticed that it has a tendency to just push the grass over instead of actually cutting it. So we're doing a little bit of touch up here. And while it is not lawnmower sharp, it is definitely sharper than this. Now we've got to go through all of them here. This one took me about 5 minutes. So we're going to be under here for a minute. While I do have a ton of brand new bolts, about $50 worth, I'm not going to put them in. But you can see these holes here with the old bolts. There's a lot of play in there. I'm going to have to take this and get it welded up, but until then I'm just going to put these old bolts back in to get us through this round of mowing. Once we get this round of mowing under our belt, I can come in and get this welded up, probably re-tapped a little bit so it's nice tight fit, and get the new bolts put in. Oh, and these are not easy to get on either. Hey, that tightened right on up. Okay, maybe not. This is not easy by any stretch. These spots in here are so tight you can't hardly get your fingers in there, let alone a tool. So to get this top one, you've got the drum here. To get a bite on this top one, I actually have to go clear up over the drum and below the housing. And it is not an easy angle. And of course you've got this little gap here that it has to fit just right into, so your angle can't be too high, it can't be too low. I mean, it has to be just right. Ah! See there, all that play? That's not supposed to be like that. These are supposed to go in the ends, but I lost one of the nuts off of here. Inevitably, I do it every time. I have no idea where it went. Oh, looky there, looky there. Fell down inside the block. That ain't right. 3 different sockets, 2 different drivers, and 5 different types of bolts for this. Oh man. I don't think this is the right wrench. It is not. When in doubt, bring them all. Well, looky there. Got lucky with this wrench. Everything on here is metric. These are not. I did have to use 1 new bolt to replace that one I had to cut off, and a new washer because, you know, frisbee. Well, I see the door is down. Question is, what is it? So far I hadn't caught any skunks, and I'm hoping I never do. That's going to be a mess to deal with. Looks like we got another opossum. You ready to go for a ride? Time for you to vacate the premises. Don't you do it. Boy, Yeah. Well. Pew. Gone. Off to live his best life.